Hey guys, it's Brian from Phonerini here, and I've got the new Pebble Steel. Now, the Pebble Steel is an alternative to the original Pebble. It's not really an entirely new product. While it does have a completely new design, it does not have any new internals, so functionality-wise, you're going to be the same. But the Pebble Steel is meant to be a premium device for the times when your original Pebble is just a little bit too dressed down. And we have to say that the team has done a really good job with this redesign. We're going to bring in our original Pebble here so you can kind of compare it. As you can see, it is smaller, it is slightly skinnier, and slightly narrower. So in all three dimensions, it has shrunk. Being made of steel, it is of course going to be a heavier device than the original. We've got our steel bracelet on here, but it does come with a leather band also. The leather band is black no matter what. The Pebble Steel comes in two colors. We've got the brushed steel here, and then it also comes in matte black, and of course the band is going to match your housing color. Design wise, as you can see, we still have the same basic layout. We've got the one button and the charging port on the left side, and then the three buttons on the right side, but they have been reworked. You can see they're much tighter, they're much closer together. There's a little visual or tactile difference between these three buttons here, as the middle one sticks out more. And unfortunately, the charging port is slightly different due to the curvature of the original versus the new, so if you've got both, you won't be able to have two chargers. You still have to use the correct charger for the correct device. But overall, it's an excellent redesign. We really like the look of the new Pebble Steel, and it feels good on our wrists. It is, of course, heavier, being all steel, as we said, but it's a lot lighter than we would expect. The steel band isn't too thick, and the device overall is relatively thin. So compared to a normal traditional watch of this size, the Pebble Steel is not any heavier and might be a little bit lighter than some of the larger watches that are in style these days. As you can see, the one visual difference, or the one visual break here, is this little black ring that runs along the steel. That is so that the Bluetooth signal can get out, because of course, being an all steel design, it's going to hamper any radios inside. So it's a nice little contrast here on the silver version that doesn't really stick out too much, and on the matte black version you really can't see it at all. We have the single button deployment clasp here. It fits really nicely under our wrists. We did have to take a couple links out. Check our review for a quick link to see how to remove those, but as you can see, it fits nicely. It's a little bit smaller, which we really appreciate. So overall, they've done a really good redesign of the Pebble Steel. It is $100 more than the original, coming in at $249, so there's definitely a bit of a premium, but we can say that for somebody who wears this every day and wants something to be a little bit more dressed up, the Pebble Steel is definitely worth it. Still keeps the original software, so everything pretty much is the same as we'd seen it before. Some new features with the 2.0 software. We can go back and look at our previous notifications, so that's kind of nice. But you can do the same thing on the original Pebble, because they are not splitting the firmware. We are able to have the new version 2 firmware on the original Pebble as well. We'll take a quick look at the new app as well. One of the big things is that the Pebble App Store is now launched. Now, we are on Android. This is, of course, the Nexus 5, and this is a beta version of the app. The official version is not quite out yet, so it's a little bit slower. There's some lag. Every now and again it crashes on us, but the functionality is there. Everything is going to look just like it does otherwise. You can see we've got the gallery. We've got the most loved watch faces. As you bring up a watch face, you have the option to like it, and that way it promotes those to the top. Simply hit the add button right there that you saw to add new apps or watch faces to your watch. And you can see we have the same thing with the watch app. So a much more streamlined design. Like we said, there is still a little bit of lag to it, but overall a much better app than we originally had. One of the other cool features is the new locker. So we can only hold 4 apps on our phone. Right now we've only got, or excuse us, we can only hold 8 on our phone. Right now we've only got 4, so no big deal. But let's say we wanted to get rid of this Futura weather app. We can unload it. It's going to unload from Pebble. It's going to put us in our locker down here so we can quickly switch between that if we have more than 8 and we're running out of space. And then to add it back, simply put it back on. And if we give it a second, it's going to load there again. And our watch just buzzed to tell us, look, there we have the new app. So that's a quick look at the Pebble Steel as well as the new App Store from Pebble. Overall, a product that we definitely recommend. We've been loving our Pebble for the past year and are very excited to have a version that is a little bit more dressed up.